Alright, welcome back everybody. So last time we did a video on why a government bond is a better investment than Tesla. To know more, click right here. But we still said we like to invest a lot in Tesla because I've always liked to play with fire. So investing in Tesla is not really like playing with fire. It's actually one of the two best investments in the world right now. The other being the Indian stock market. Maybe we'll do a video on that another time. Alright, so the two main reasons to invest in Tesla are cost and innovation. So they have a very low manufacturing cost, and they're the lowest cost producer of electric vehicles in the whole world. And number two, they continue to reinvent themselves at the second fastest pace of innovation in the history of things that move. The first being SpaceX, also an Elon Musk company. Ever since this guy, Henry Ford, made this thing, the assembly line.
He innovates a new system for producing cars.
Actually, pause. Fun fact, it was actually made by Charles Sorensen, who worked at Ford. Ford just got all the credit. Alright, back to the story.
Rather than handcrafting each car one at a time, his are assembled by a line of workers, piece by piece. It's called the assembly line, and it completely changes manufacturing forever.
Anyway, back then, Ford was able to get the cost of his Model T down from around $900 to $300. That's like taking a $27,000 car and getting the cost down to $9 grand. But since then, there's been relatively little innovation in the auto industry. Almost no innovation, except maybe the 3-point seatbelt, when some engineers at Volvo were like, "Hey Lars, I've got an idea." "Oh yeah? What's that?" "What if we made sure less people died while driving?" "Well, that's a brilliant idea, sure, but only if I can get a picture with Ingrid from HR. But there was never really a dearth of ideas, in spite of so many useful ideas from the genius minds of Sandy Munro and even toy companies like Matchbox and Hot Wheels, but alas, to no avail. That is until Tesla began making these things. Gigafactories. So what's a gigafactory? It's a massively huge, stretched out octagon. It's also a highly modern, supremely efficient automobile making monster machine. It's so big, it would be taller than the Burj Khalifa if it was standing upright. And for some weird reason, somebody calculated that it could hold 194 billion hamsters inside. Alright, so here's how a gigafactory works. First, you make a big building.
It's not just big, it's huge!
Right, I mean huge. Then you work with this Italian company named Idra to make something called a gigapress. And you put it in the gigafactory. So what's a gigapress, you ask? Well, it's a big,
huge!
Right, I mean huge machine that takes a few pieces of molten aluminum and turns them into a cast auto body frame.
These machines are epic in scale.
Huge!
The Model Y Gigapress is 19.7 meters long, 7 meters wide, and 6 meters high. It's basically the size of a small house.
Apparently, Elon was inspired about this idea by looking at a Hot Wheels model of a Tesla on his desk, because this is exactly how Hot Wheels and or Matchbox make those tiny little cars we all play with. Except, you know. Exactly. Here's a video from almost 60 years ago on how those little cars are made using die casting. Look at that little press. The gigapress is exactly the same thing, just, you know. Okay, so now we got a gigafactory and a gigapress inside the gigafactory. So how's that help?
Everybody! Hey guys, I'm back. So with all these improvements, Tesla can reduce about 300 to 600 robots per assembly line. According to Statista, one spot welding robot like the one behind me can cost about $100,000, which is between $30 million to $60 million saved. Even Toyota, the supposed king of manufacturing, believes they can save 50% on costs and processes just by copying Tesla. They even called Tesla's final product a work of art. Today, Tesla can make a car with 370 fewer parts. Here's Elon Musk's entire manufacturing philosophy summarized.
I have this mantra called, if the schedule's long, it's wrong. If it's tight, it's right. If the design takes a long time to build, it's the wrong design. The best part is no part. The best process is no process. It weighs nothing, costs nothing, can't go wrong. What did you undesign? Undesigning is the best thing. Just delete it. That's the best thing.
I haven't heard this much clarity in a decade, which is basically my whole life, because I'm only 10 years old. What else? Oh yeah! They can produce the same amount of cars with 35% less factory space, which means you spend less money buying land. On average, they need 20% less labor, and the body castings cost 40% less, and safer cars. Actually, the safest ever, which is, you know.
Huge!
Right, so going back to profit margins, now what do we got? More money, higher quality, superior safety, less lawsuits, and it keeps getting better. So Tesla's operational cash flow over the next 10 years, as it grows, is very likely to blow today's 10-year Treasury bond rate out of the water. Okay, so is anybody in the competition doing this? Well, we've heard of companies thinking about ordering a gigapress or having already placed an order for a gigapress, but while Tesla is already busy making 2 million cars, opening up new gigafactories, ordering more gigapresses, these guys still gotta figure out how to work a gigapress and then actually fit it into a factory that's designed to make EVs this efficient. But it's not just a gigapress, there's a whole lot more in that factory. So they still got a lot more to figure out. Meanwhile, let's say the competition did eventually get a gigapress or two. They still got other things, like they still got to deal with union workers. Tesla doesn't have any union workers because, generally speaking, union workers tend to make the union leaders rich, to make the costs for the company go up, and eventually the poor line workers just get laid off. Tesla employees are happier working without a union. They're working on something cool, and they get a lot of stock options. And as we're talking about right now, that stock is expected to blow everything else out of the water, which makes everybody at Tesla be like, exactly. And remember, history always repeats. Just about 100 years ago, there was a genius named Henry Ford who made superior cars for a much lower price, 10 times faster than the competition, with way happier employees. Sound familiar?
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, just like, share, and subscribe. See you in a Wall Street Minute.